watching the It's Her Time podcast with Cody and Jess. Welcome back to the It's Her Time podcast. My name is Cody Sanders, and I'm a holistic health practitioner and a functional nutritionist and the host of the show. And today we're going to talk about how much protein should women have. All right, from muscle building and metabolism to hormonal balance and disease prevention, protein is an essential nutrient for women's health. Women of all ages need enough protein to help us with our energy, to help us with our focus, our appetite control, and for tissue repair. Now, across different life stages like pregnancy and menopause, protein becomes even more important. It supports fetal development, it maintains our muscle tissue and our bone density, and it helps us to manage our moods and our hormonal fluctuations, helps to prevent weight gain, and it even helps us with our sleep. Now, understanding this macronutrient's importance is making sure we're getting in enough protein in our diet, and it can help to lead us to better health and a better quality of life. So if you're asking yourself, how much protein should I have every single day? Well, this episode will guide you on the ideal daily protein intake for you to optimize your hormone levels, to improve your muscle mass and support your ideal body composition, to prevent age-related muscle loss, and to support just overall optimal health. But before we go into all of this, let's go into our favorite segment, Mixhers Girls Say.
Something that Mixhers has always loved to do is host events. We've always enjoyed connecting with women in person, whether it's our community members and the women that are using our products every day, or our influencer friends that are also using our products every day, combining everyone, team members, family, friends, everything. And we have been always hosting in Utah. We've traveled a lot with Mixhers, and then we took a few months from traveling, but we're back at it.
Yay.
And so we have been in Arizona, we've been in St. George, we're going to Dallas, and we're getting a few more places on the map and on the calendar that we are going to tackle. But we want to know, where are you listening from?
Yeah.
Where would you potentially like us to come and travel to? And would you be looking forward to a Mixhers community event? The reason we love to do these is because we know that there's so much connection through social media. We see everyone's lives. We think that we're in the know of what everyone's doing and what's going on. But there is nothing more fulfilling than the real in-person human interaction.
That's the truth.
And being able to truly feel someone's joy and what they're happy about and what they're going through, and being able to connect with someone, or feeling someone's pain and being able to see someone in person that maybe you've been interacting with on social media that actually you're able to feel in person, like a way to support this person more deeply. We're so fulfilled by meeting Mixhers customers in person, because a lot of running a business is also challenging. It can become hard at times to know, just every day running a business or something new, which we're grateful for. But when we meet women in person, we know that we will never stop and never want to give up on this. And so it's fulfilling for us as founders. It's fulfilling for us to meet women in person and have that connection as well. What do you think about?
Everything you just said, I'm like, yes, I agree with everything. I'm a huge hugger. I know Jess is too. And that's something that we can't do just over social media, right? But when we're in person, that's something I love doing. When people come and talk to me about the ways that Mixhers products have really improved their lives, like changed their lives, it's the best. And to be able to give them a hug and connect in that way too, just means the world. And I love how you said it just makes us never want to give up on this mission that we have to help every woman out there feel their very best. And that's what happens in these little in-person events. So we can't wait to connect with you in person. We love that you guys come and join us every week on the podcast, and that you're following us on social media. But like Jess said, we want to come and meet you in person.
Yeah. Tell us where to come. Comment in this section, and hopefully be on the lookout, because maybe we're coming towards you. Okay, enjoy the episode. Mixhers is a company made for women by women. Each of our products have been carefully and lovingly crafted to support you in all stages of your life, providing you with the optimal health you deserve. Each ingredient we handpick is 100% all natural, backed by science and chosen specifically to better your life physically, mentally, and hormonally. Each product empowers your body to take charge of its monthly hormonal shift and flows, empowering you to live life to the fullest. Let Mixhers take care of your needs from sunup to sundown, and you take care of the rest. Check us out at mixhers.com, Mixhers.
Okay, let's get started. First of all, I know you all know that there are three main macronutrients, okay? We have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, these three macronutrients provide calories or energy, and without them, many of our bodily processes would be compromised, like our metabolism, with like growth and repair as well. Now, unlike micronutrients, which are things like vitamins and minerals, which are needed in just smaller amounts, macronutrients like protein need to be eaten in larger portions and should make up the bulk of our diet. Now, if we want to feel our best, especially during times like puberty, pregnancy, and as we get older, when our bodies rely heavily on nutrients for development and for repair, then we need to make sure that we have a proper balance of macronutrients every single day. Now, this is going to affect our energy. It's going to help reduce the fatigue and inflammation that we're feeling. It can also improve our sleep and help us to curb those crazy cravings. In a nutshell, protein plays a major role in supporting health for women. So let's talk about all the ways that it does this. All right. So how does protein help us? Well, protein plays a big part in hormone synthesis and regulation. For example, as women, our metabolic needs and our calorie and protein needs increase by about 5 to 10% during our luteal phase, which is the week or two before our menstrual phase. Now, if you're an athlete, that increase can go up to around 9%. So if you've ever wondered why you feel more hungry during this time of the month, this is why. Now, getting in enough protein each day helps our reproductive hormone health. It helps us to produce optimal levels of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Getting in enough protein can also help get rid of some of the nasty symptoms that are associated with perimenopause and menopause, like belly fat and muscle loss. Now, getting in enough protein with our meals helps to balance our blood sugar levels and makes it so we have less insulin imbalances. Because did you know that the more muscle that we have, the better our insulin sensitivity is going to be? The amount of protein we eat daily can help us maintain as much muscle mass as possible. Now, muscle is a hormone regulating tissue. Now, protein also helps us manage our appetite and it helps us to control our cravings. So it's a girl's best friend. It's helpful because that helps make it easier for us to manage our weight. Now, a healthy body weight is linked to a reduced risk for health issues like certain hormone imbalances like PCOS, but also health issues like diabetes and heart disease, cancer, and a lot of others. Now, protein helps us to regulate insulin, and insulin is an important component of managing excess testosterone, okay? Especially for those with PCOS. Now, you see, insulin stimulates the production of testosterone in our ovaries. Too much testosterone can cause us to lose our hair, or it can make it so hair growth happens where we don't want it. And it can cause things like acne, and it can cause us to have irregular cycles and all of that. Now, eating a diet that gives us plenty of protein and then making sure we are also doing our strength training is one of the most important things that we can do if we have PCOS. Now, let's talk a little bit about how protein helps us build and maintain lean muscle mass. Muscle, I've said it many times, is our longevity organ, and we need protein to build our muscles and to repair our muscles. And as people age, especially us girls, going into menopause and then beyond that, we tend to lose muscle at a much quicker rate. So getting in adequate protein each day can support us at least in muscle maintenance, if not even growth. Now, you want to spread your protein intake throughout the day. So starting with a protein-rich, healthy breakfast, because that has been shown to be most helpful for boosting our lean muscle mass building and also improving our muscle strength and muscular endurance, especially for girls. All right, so now protein, we know, supports a healthy metabolism. Of all the macronutrients, protein has the highest thermic effect, which just means that it requires more energy to digest compared to fats and carbohydrates. Now, the energy it takes to digest your protein can help boost your metabolism, especially since protein foods are also very filling. Now, protein also helps us to fight off disease. There are a lot of studies out there that show that because protein can help us to build muscle, especially when we combine it with resistance training, that the muscle that we build protects us against many of the chronic diseases that are out there, like sarcopenia, which just means muscle loss, or osteoporosis, which is bone density loss. But it also protects us against things like obesity or dementia, diabetes, or as well as like immobility and physical disability. In fact, among older adults, it's been found to help lower all-cause mortality or all death risk. So building and maintaining our beautiful muscle mass through getting in enough protein can help us reduce the risk of bone loss, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. A balanced, high-protein diet is so great because it is it's low in refined carbs and sugar, and those things are very anti-inflammatory. And that is what can reduce our risk for disease. Now, there's research that shows in order for us to maintain muscle mass and be able to function well and really reduce our disease risk in our older years, we should consume at least 1.17 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each and every single day. Now, ideally through getting lots of different forms of protein, so like fish and dairy products and nuts. Protein helps us with our energy. It also helps us significantly with our sleep. Now, we need amino acids, and amino acids are small molecules derived from protein. And we need these to make our happy hormone neurotransmitters and to help us produce hormones that help us feel energy and support us in getting restorative sleep. For example, the amino acid tyrosine is needed for thyroid hormone production, and it's needed for adrenal function. So many of you write into me and ask me for guidance with your thyroid and adrenal fatigue issues. You may need to look into whether you are getting in enough protein or not. This is a big one. Now, protein-rich meals, they give us long-lasting energy throughout the entire day. And that supports us to want to be more physically active, and it keeps our brains functioning well throughout the day. Protein is important for our cognitive function. Protein can also help improve our sleep quality at night, especially because protein helps prevent those crazy blood sugar spikes and then the crashes that follow. Now, something else to be aware of is that during your period, if you struggle, you might find that eating more protein helps you to stabilize your mood better, and it helps you to curb symptoms like fatigue or even anxiety. Now, a bonus is that many animal proteins, things like eggs and meat, are also very rich in B vitamins like B12, as well as iron, which are both very important for managing PMS symptoms. Now, there are so many benefits that protein can give to us, but especially for us women who are entering into the phase of menopause. Now, as we enter into perimenopause and then transition through menopause, and both of these times, we are going through huge hormonal changes, including our estrogen levels, and they're tanking. So eating plenty of protein is so important because it keeps our bones healthy and it helps us maintain our precious muscle mass. It keeps our metabolism humming, and overall, it just helps us feel more vital and glowy and more youthful. Now, during menopausal years, women are at an increased risk for osteoporosis and sarcopenia. That's that loss of muscle mass. So we have to do what we've got to do in order to prevent that. So let's get in enough protein and let's make sure that we're doing our heavy lifting. And let's preserve that muscle mass and keep our strength so that we're able to function freely and more mobile and agile. And all of this is going to help us to reduce the risk of falls and fractures. All right, another big complaint and concern during menopause is what happens to our metabolism. So we have talked about metabolism already, but during menopause, this is so important. Okay, protein plays a role in metabolic health, and consuming protein-rich foods can help increase our feelings of fullness more than eating any other foods. It regulates our appetite, and it supports our ability to lose fat and to reach and maintain a healthy weight. Belly fat seems to just come out of nowhere during perimenopause and menopause. Well, protein can help stabilize our blood sugar levels. You know that eating more protein helps maintain muscle. Well, muscle sensitizes us to the effects of insulin, which is a hormone that helps us regulate our blood glucose or our sugar levels. Now, insulin sensitivity, which is the opposite of insulin resistance, is foundational for hormone health and for preventing belly fat and other unwanted symptoms that come along with this stage of life. Now, let's talk about protein's role during pregnancy, okay? Now, protein is the building block for fetal growth and development. So getting in enough protein each and every day is essential for supporting the formation of your baby's tissues, organs, and muscles. Protein also aids in the production of amniotic fluid. That's the fluid that surrounds and protects the baby in the womb. Now, protein also helps support a mother's changing body during pregnancy. It supports the maintenance and the growth of all of the maternal tissues like the uterus and the placenta and the breasts. Protein supports a mama's increased blood volume and her circulation, and that helps make sure that she has optimal nutrient delivery to both her and her developing baby. Now, studies show that when moms-to-be consume enough protein during pregnancy, they have a higher chance of experiencing improved birth outcomes, including healthy fetal birth weight and reduced risk of preterm birth and lower rates of complications such as preeclampsia and gestational diabetes. That's amazing, right? So the question that we all want to know and we need the answer to is how much protein do women need, okay? Well, women's protein requirements vary depending on a lot of different factors. Factors like our age, our activity level, and what life stage we're in. So let's just talk about the different protein requirements that we need during different stages of our life. Okay, I want to just give you a general guideline for protein intake to help you determine how much protein you should eat in a day based on your age and your needs. So if you are a woman that is pregnant, what you want to figure out is you want to be eating around 1.1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now, if you are postpartum, you need 1.1 to 1.3 grams per kilogram of body weight. If you're just somebody that's just looking to maintain her general health, then you want to get in around 1.1 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, if you're a woman that's in perimenopause and menopause, that increases to 1.2 to 1.6 grams of kilogram or per kilogram of ideal body weight. Okay. And that's the key. It's the ideal body weight you want to be paying attention to, not maybe your current body weight. Maybe it is ideal, but whatever that is, that's what you're wanting to determine from. Now, if you are somebody that's trying to build muscle mass, you're going to increase the protein intake even more to 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Okay, so how do we determine how much protein you need? All right, you're going to use the guidelines that we just talked about, but let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a 150-pound woman with an ideal body weight. You will aim to get in about 82 to 109 grams of protein per day. And then you're going to want to divide that between the meals throughout the day, ideally through 3 meals during the day. Now, remember, you want to use your ideal body weight to determine your protein needs, not necessarily your current weight. There are a lot of apps that are out there that you can use for free to figure out what your ideal body weight is. Now, some doctors use the BMI scale, but I don't think that it's a very reliable guide, especially for women, because it doesn't really take into account your body composition or how much muscle mass you have compared to fat mass. It only looks at your weight versus your height. Now, when I was helping my clients find their ideal protein intake, I would look at their activity levels to determine the right amount of protein for them. Now, for example, for general health, that 1.1 to 1.4 grams of protein is where they wanted to aim. Now, if you're someone that is moderately active, you're going to be somewhere around 1.4 to 1.8 grams of protein. That's a really good range for you. Now, if you are an athlete, meaning you are extremely active every single day, you need more protein. You need about 1.8 to 2.2 grams of protein every single day. Now, something that gets asked a lot is which is better, animal proteins or plant proteins, okay? Now, while both plant and animal proteins contain amino acids, they are different when it comes to their specific amino acid profiles. Also, their bioavailability and nutrient content is different as well. So let's break down some of the main differences between plant and animal proteins, okay? Let's first talk about animal sources of protein. Now, animal proteins typically contain all 9 essential amino acids in optimal ratios, making them a complete protein. Now, these amino acids are needed for functions like muscle building and repair, and they're most easily obtained from complete protein sources. Now, animal proteins are more readily absorbed and they're better utilized by our bodies when compared to plant proteins. For example, they provide a higher bioavailability of essential nutrients like iron and zinc and vitamin B12. Now, not only do animal proteins contain a lot of amino acids, they are also high in essential micronutrients, such as kind of what we just talked about, the iron, the zinc, the vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids. So foods like meat or dairy and fish are especially effective for supporting muscle building and for maintenance because of their complete amino acid profile and their high protein content. But now let's talk about plant sources of protein. Now, most plant proteins are incomplete, meaning that they lack one or more of the essential amino acids. But by combining different plant protein sources like beans and rice or grains and nuts, it is possible to obtain all essential amino acids. Now, plant proteins generally have a lower bioavailability compared to animal proteins because they contain anti-nutritional factors like fiber and phytates, which can hinder nutrient absorption of some of the amino acids. Now, foods like legumes and grains and nuts are typically rich in dietary fiber. They're also rich in antioxidants and vitamins and minerals, which are awesome for our overall health and have been shown to reduce the risk of a lot of our chronic diseases. So is one type better? Well, to say which type of protein is better, the answer totally depends on preferences, on specific needs, and also ethical considerations. From purely a nutritional standpoint, though, I will say animal proteins offer complete amino acids and have higher bioavailability of nutrients. So I would say animal protein is superior to plant foods. But while plant protein sources have lower bioavailability, they do provide fiber, and that is very valuable. And they also contain those incredibly important and powerful antioxidants and micronutrients. So I think we actually need both. A balanced diet that includes a variety of both plant and animal protein sources can make sure that we are getting optimal nutrient intake and that we are supporting our overall health and our well-being. Ultimately, the best choice is one that aligns with your personal health goals and beliefs. So striking a balance by eating both types is usually a good strategy for meeting nutritional needs and for reducing the risk of nutrient deficiencies. So how do you get enough protein if you are somebody that is a vegan or a vegetarian, okay? Now, people following a vegan or a strict vegetarian diet actually need to be very mindful to consume a variety of plant proteins to ensure that they get all of those essential amino acids. Now, most vegans and vegetarians should focus on higher protein intake, and they should really pay attention to their overall calorie and carbohydrate intake as well. Now, plant-based protein sources like legumes, tofu, tempeh, seitan, lentils, beans, quinoa, nuts, seeds, and some whole grains can provide the necessary protein if you are eating a variety of these foods either together or enough of them throughout the day. For example, what I would recommend is that you try combining beans and rice, or you can combine hummus with whole grain pitas. And what this does is it helps to create complete protein meals. Now, adding in foods like plant-based protein powders or even adding things like nutritional yeast can contribute to protein requirements. So I would encourage you to snack on things like nuts and seeds, and edamame is really good, or a plant protein powder smoothie can boost your protein levels as well. All right, let's go through some key takeaways of what we've talked about in this episode about how much protein women should have. All right, to wrap things up, let's remember that protein is vital to a woman's diet, especially when it comes to muscle building and to metabolism and to hormone regulation and maintaining our healthy energy levels. Now, while individual protein needs are going to vary based on things like your age, your weight, your activity level, and whatever life stage you're in, we should all be aiming to get around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of our ideal body weight per day. That's what is generally recommended. This helps us get in enough protein to support our muscle maintenance, our metabolic function, and our hormone production. Okay? Did you find this helpful? I hope so. Sometimes this can seem a little bit tricky, but practice makes perfect. I recommend tracking your protein each day for a week to just get an idea of where you currently are and where you may need to adjust. Now, food, it truly is medicine. When we give our body the building blocks it needs, it's amazing because it functions the way that it's been designed to do, and which is optimal. So please, if you have found that this episode has been helpful for you, we would love it if you could share this episode with the girls in your life. And if you wouldn't mind, please leave us a rating and review. It really helps this podcast to continue growing. We love our community and we love to see more and more of us wanting to learn more about our amazing bodies so that we can be our own best health advocates. All right, join me again next week for another new episode. And until then, I hope you all have a very happy and healthy week. Bye.